What's going on, everybody? I am back with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you, it's going to be a little different today. I'm going to be showing you what I use on my Jeep and what I use for my recoveries. So let's get into it. So we're going to start with my gear that I use first, and then go on the Jeep, and then just work our way back there. So we are going to start with my muddy outdoor 7/8 by 20 foot kinetic recovery rope. I've used this one a few times. I used it a lot in Corpus when I went down. I mainly use it for a bridle now. Yeah, this one's really cool. But yeah, as you can see, I've beat it up a little bit. Then we got my 7/8 by 30 foot kinetic recovery rope by Yankum Ropes. I mainly use this one when I went down to Corpus. Thing's a lifesaver. And the thing about the recovery ropes compared to this strap, it's not a tow strap, but it's a tree saver. But these can stretch up to about 30%. These do not stretch. So this is my tree saver, my Badlands tree saver. I haven't used this to pull myself out because I don't get stuck. But I have used it before. I don't remember what it was for. I think it was for somebody else that got stuck. But I think, yeah, I used it as a bridle. You usually hook these up to a tree with a snatch block, or you can anchor down for somebody. You use it as a bridle. Then we got, these are really important. I think everybody should use these. These are soft shackles. These are just these, but in rope form. These are really cool because they're a lot easier instead of unscrewing the pin and everything. These have gotten a little beat up too. Not really. I need to get more though. And then we got our hard shackles right here. I have 4 of these. They're actually on the bumpers of my Jeep. But these are really nice. A lot of people use these whenever they hook their snatch blocks up to their tree savers and all that. But yeah, these are really nice. And then we have J hooks. So I wouldn't recommend using these. If you can find a J hook soft shackle on the market, I'd recommend using these. This is all I had when I went to Corpus. Then I had to stick this on the bottom, then take the chafe sleeve off the soft shackle to run through. This is actually what I used on the van, because it was just easier. In the low-hanging cars, that was really cool too. But I prefer using a soft shackle. Try to avoid using metal whenever you're doing recoveries. You never know what could happen. It's just a safety factor. Then we have our snatch blocks. These are really cool. These are mainly used for when you have a winch. You can hook them up to a tree. You can hook them up to somebody else to pull yourself out. You can run 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. But yeah, that's my gear. Now I'm going to move on to the Jeep. We're going to start from the front and move it to the back. So the most obvious thing you see here is going to be the winch. I've actually only used it probably twice since I've had it. But this helps a lot, especially whenever people are stuck in the mud, or just extremely stuck in general. You can use these to pull them out. Use a snatch block to double your capacity. But yeah, that's the winch. And then you got my 2 lights right here. The lens are clear, but the LEDs inside are actually yellow. I should have got the ones off the A pillar and just put a cover on it, so that way they could be clear without the lens, but yellow whenever I put them on. Then you got my 20-inch light bar. This one has the cover on it because I was smart about it. But yeah, it's just a cover. The yellow covers are good. Yellow is good in general whenever it comes to dust, rain, fog. I do not recommend you using them on the highway because it'll blind other people. So yeah, don't do that. Then we've got our cube lights. These are really cool. I use these all the time. Not on the road though. These are clear. And like I said, I was smart And these are just covers, so whenever you put these on, they're yellow now. So got these face forward, these off to the side as ditch lights. And then we got our 52-inch curved light bar. It makes a lot of noise, but you got to tilt it down. But I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not even worried about it anymore. But this is probably what I use the most whenever I go out, even when I'm hunting or trying to find somebody to recover or anything like that. But yeah, and then we got my traffic lights. I tend to, well, if I see anybody on the side of the road, I'll end up pulling over, see if I can help them, whether it's change a tire or whatever. I just got these not too long ago, but these are really cool. They're white and amber, and I haven't got a chance to really use them yet, so stay tuned for that. Then we are going to be moving on to the back. Nothing really here, but we got Rotopacks. We got our 1.75 gallon Rotopacks, and then we got our 1.75 can of water. And then we got what I use the most in Corpus. We got my pintle hitch. I've seen a lot of people use these for recoveries. They're not made for recovery. You can, but I wouldn't recommend it. They're just a lot easier to use and a lot quicker, but that does not always mean safer. But like I said, I've seen a lot of people use them, like Matt's Off-Road Recovery and Santo. They tend to use them pretty often. So I just had to get one. Just why not? And oh, we could talk about the tires. I am running on this. I'm running Nitto Recon Grapplers, 35 by 1250 by 17. These are really cool. I just wish I had bead locks. Just bead locks are extremely expensive. Underneath, we have rock lights. Don't mind that ghetto setup, but we have rock lights. There's only one in here. I mainly use these for whenever I go to the shopping mall and I can see when I'm about to hit the curb, so that way I can like go up and sit on it. Look at the bumpers. The bumpers are really cool. As you can see, what I stated earlier, I have D-rings that come on them really easy. So if I need to be recovered, you can just hook up to the D-rings and I can just get pulled out, whether it's the front or the back. I have them on both. Pretty cool. I like it overall. That's the setup. Yeah. One thing I did not state earlier about my winch. I do plan on getting a winch later on, but my winch is rated for, I don't know if you guys can see that, but 9,500 pounds. And I run cable. A lot of people hate cable because if it snaps, it will go back at you. But you can throw a jacket or a blanket on it, make it safer, or you can run synthetic line. One thing about cable though is it's a lot stronger. You just have to maintain it. Like if it rusts, you gotta take care of it. Maybe oil or something like that. But with synthetic, it's just a lot safer if you run synthetic. It's lighter. It doesn't rust and stuff like that. It will not come back at you if it drops. I mean, you still could put a blanket or a jacket on it if it snaps, but it'll dry out. It'll like kind of rot, so they can snap too. Either or is good, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's that. So you guys get an idea. Yes, all my lights do work. They are not just for show, but this is what all of them turned on looks like. I enjoy it. I'm going to be wrapping this video up, everybody, but thanks for watching. You can like and subscribe, please. It'll help me a lot. Any of these products, I'll be dropping a link down in the video below. I do have a code by Yankum Ropes and Nylite. You can get 10% off anything on yankumropes.com using code EMENDEZ, EMENDEZ. And you can get 15% off anything on Nylite's website using code Ethan Mendez, ETHANMENDEZ. Anyways, guys, I will catch you on the next one.